This week, Donald Trump said out loud from the Oval Office what no American president has said in 80 years.
Spain has been very, very uncooperative, and so has UK. Now, the second one is shocking, but this is not the age of Churchill. I will say the UK has been very, very uncooperative with that, and they ruin relationships. It's a shame.
But the president didn't just publicly trash Britain from the Oval Office. He outflanked Britain's chaos operation in the Strait of Hormuz. When Lloyd's of London announced it was terminating insurance for Gulf shipping, a move which could throw the world economy into chaos, President Trump ordered the United States Development Finance Corporation to step in and provide that coverage. And he put the Navy on notice to escort tankers through the strait. What you're watching is an American president who doesn't need Britain's permission to strike Iran and doesn't need Britain's insurance markets to keep the world's oil moving. 300 years of crown control over that choke point broken in a single day. Now, if you've been watching the news this week, you're being told America is stumbling into another Middle Eastern quagmire, that it's going to be a perpetual war, economic chaos, and it's a president who doesn't know what he's doing. That's the drumbeat from the same people who cheered on every British-backed regime change operation of the last 30 years. I'm Susan Kokinda. I've tracked how the British have used Iran as a trigger for economic and strategic chaos since the days of the gas lines, and I've watched every president since Jimmy Carter let it happen, until now. So if you want to keep up with this historic change, hit those like, subscribe, and share buttons so we can stay in touch and expand our reach. So here's what we're going to be covering today. First, Donald Trump's very public rupture with Britain, which is not just on the issue of Iran. Second, why Trump's move against Lloyd's of London is one of the most consequential economic strikes in this entire fight. And third, how Iran's attacks on its own Gulf neighbors handed Trump a sovereign nation coalition that the old imperial system was designed to prevent. So let's go back to the Oval Office. The trigger was Iran. Britain blocked the United States from using Diego Garcia and British Air Force bases for the opening strikes of Operation Epic Fury. Trump had to reroute missions, adding hours of flight time. So when he sat down with German Chancellor Merz on Tuesday, he didn't hold back.
I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we are very surprised.
Despite the fact that Britain relented on March 1st and allowed the U.S. limited use of its bases for defensive purposes, Prime Minister Keir Starmer drilled down on Britain's opposition to Trump's actions in Iran, speaking to Parliament.
We all remember the mistakes of Iraq, and we have learned those lessons. Any UK actions must always have a lawful basis and a viable, thought-through plan. I say again, we were not involved in the initial strikes on Iran, and we will not join offensive action now.
He said, "We all remember the mistakes of Iraq." That is pretty rich coming from the land of Tony Blair. But then the Prime Minister dutifully reported the talking point, which came from the Empire's think tank Chatham House a few days ago. He said, "This government does not believe in regime change from the skies." What Starmer has repeated is the globalist narrative that Donald Trump is using their regime change playbook and it's not going to work. Well, their problem is that's not what he's doing. So while the strategic split between the United States and the British is out in the open, there is more to Trump's break with the British.
But the UK, what they're doing with energy and what they...
That goes on a little bit further, but I can't fast forward it to the part that I wanted to also show, but
yeah, that's the downfall to
yeah. But other than that was I think she kind of laid out the strategy of what he was trying to do, you know. So I just wanted to add that to the conversation since we touched it. It was the next clip that I was explaining what we were talking about exactly, but I don't think I loaded it, so I also played the wrong one.
Well, he's upset with the UK. I mean, How you feel about that? Are they
No,
wrong?
it's not. Oh, you missed the point that she said. She was saying he broke that he got around the loophole that basically he controlled the oil from out there, because if the British didn't help him, right, he was able to break something that they had in place for the last 30 years.
So hold up. So what you're saying now is if Trump jacks Iran oil, he controls the flow of oil into Europe?
Basically, to a certain degree.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's all about the oil.
Damn. Yeah, but it's not all. It's about how you're using the oil, though.
Yeah, that too. But it's a business deal about the oil. And somebody was saying it before. I was digging down the rabbit hole of the Trump, all the theories are going around it. They said everything is a strategic move to get at China some way somehow, because they're our only competitors or something like that. And, China does a lot of dealing with Iran as well.
Yeah.
With their oil. So
Yep.
if he gets control of that, he can, have some type of leverage on China.
Yep. So I think what you call it, because even with all of that, in that same clip where they were talking about Kiyostama and the parliament, they were bashing him because it's like, yo, he don't really have, like, all his talking points were they wrote it from, because the parliament was questioning him, like English parliament. It's like, what are your plans for this in case this, and everything was like pre-written. I'm just like, and the parliament was like, yo, you got to do something. But they was pretty much asking questions that he should have. But overall, I think it put UK in a crazy position, though. It got them backpedaling. So I think the cards are falling for the US, where they got everything they want, and it worked out. It worked out perfectly for them.
Because remember, and here's another thing too. You notice that oil prices spiked.
Right, but that's price gouging. You remember the oil that we got now in the tank?
You notice it went up.
Yeah, it is.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, it went up.
That's to sell the Venezuelan oil.
Well, you got to remember the oil that we have, all the oil that's already here has already been purchased.
I'm talking about the one they about to pull out of Venezuela.
Right, but that one hasn't been paid for yet. So
all
the stuff that we have currently is already paid. So that's price gouging.
They're going to be boosting. Oil prices are going to go up. You could call it price gouging, whatever you want to call it. I think it's strategically done for that purpose. And if he controls Iran's oil too, see, the thing is, I don't think he cares about the money. He cares about where the oil goes.
Yep.
And if it shuts out China, because remember, China was heavy in Venezuela as well. Yep. So was Iran. So was Russia. You know what I mean? So now, if none of that oil gets to China anymore, because China depends on, they don't have oil.
And Russia.
No,
China and Russia.
Russia don't need oil.
Well, what I was saying was, because what you got to remember, so if you go back and look at the map, when they took over Brazil, they took over Venezuela, you remember Colombia right next door was talking all of that crap. The next week, the president of Colombia was in the White House shaking Trump's hand, and he made an agreement, he made an alliance with him. So all of that tough talking, he ended up in the White House shaking his hand, and now they're in alliance with Colombia.
Yeah,
that's because Colombia is probably benefiting from Venezuela oil too. So
exactly. So that changed the map. That's what I'm saying.
So they all sold him out,
But pretty much.
So all of that came into play. So now, like, what they used to do was try to get the oil from Venezuela is no more. And Cuba on the brink of
Yeah, because also Mexico stopped giving Cuba oil as well. So now they're not getting anything. Flights aren't even going into Cuba anymore.
Nah,
they can't refuel there.
So,
but listen, man, this move right here is it's a good move.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I think he's gonna have full control of Iran. That's the purpose, the goal.
Nah, I don't think so.
So you think? I mean, somebody might be on the ground running it, but
I think he may have full control of the oil.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same situation like Venezuela.
Yeah.
As long as none of that oil
want,
goes to
he
China.
don't want the people, the country. He just want the oil.
Well, no, the oil got. If the oil go back to Iran, it's cool. But once it doesn't go to Russia or China or North Korea, that's all they care about. Because if they could take,
he makes them pay.
Yeah, well,
he gonna make Europe pay.
We paying regardless. We're gonna pay, but he's gonna try to give him leverage some way, somehow. Whatever he's trying to, whatever leverage, that's what he's trying to use through the oil.
Yep. Because you got to remember that channel that they came through all of that stuff that used to be protected by like England and Ireland. They made it through. Since England ain't support, they broke that treaty. Well, I don't want to say they broke treaty. I'm speaking out of ignorance right now. But when they didn't support, yeah. But it's like this. They got to know who were their friends and their allies. So that worked out good for them because all of those people that was in the White House.
So are they supposed to be part of the well, they not. Are they supposed to be friends because they're all in NATO?
If you're alliance, you're alliance.
Oh, that's a whole different. That's for war. But is that the same? Should they be friends?
I think NATO's all across the board. Like whatever decisions made.
Well, that's just something against Russia.
And China.
But they never did anything to Russia, though.
No.
You remember Russia attacked Ukraine, and NATO ain't do jack.
That's what I'm saying. This is Iran. So NATO ain't got nothing to do with Iran, right?
But I think Trump is flexing his muscle just like Russia flexed their muscle over there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he's doing it back to back.
Yeah, he did. Venezuela was probably easy for us. That's what I mean. But
yeah,
Iran is a little bit more of a challenge, as we see now. Like I don't know if they running out of rockets, but they launching everything they got.
Nah, they got I don't even got that video loaded. I would have played that one. But they got, you remember I was explaining the missiles? They got missiles that they could make. They got drone. The name of them is something drones.
Yeah,
they called.
I've seen those.
20 to 50,000 to make, but the U.S. used to defense against it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got a lot of feedback there. What the U.S. used to defense against it is $1 million. So they got a drone for 50,000, and the missile to stop it to take it out costs $1 million, and it normally takes about 3 to stop one. So,
but how much damage will the drone do?
Yeah, drone will do some damage. It's going to do a lot of damage, but what they're saying is one drone.
Yeah,
so the U.S. is putting up 3 million to 50,000. 3 million to 50,000, and they can make 500 in one day.
The drones?
Yeah, the drones.
Damn. So they still making them as we speak?
Yeah, they in the back of a truck. In the back of a truck. They got the thing is just little drones they put on the thing.
Fucking AI, boy.
In a day. So they said they could put out 500 a day.
Wow.
But the $1 million ship is a truck. Those are slow. You know what I'm saying? So
how long you think we're gonna be in Iran? Like how before they take over?
I think it's gonna be some years because Iran and Israel was already at it. Now they're fully at it. You know what I mean? It could be some years before. I don't think Trump is gonna pull out while they still fighting.
I don't think they're gonna be in there long. I don't think that it's gonna be long because they took out their naval ship. All of them jumps at the bottom of the sea. They took out their Air Force. Yeah.
But the boat they just took out, though, they made a mistake because India invited that Iranian boat over there. And they're like, hey, y'all ain't had no reason to shoot them down. We told them to be over here. And India just partnered with Israel. So I don't know. We can't keep making mistakes like that. I don't think they're going to
be at full war with them for long, but there's always going to be somebody there to patrol. So just in case, that's just how war is.
Mm-hmm. Because so far they even appointed somebody and they took them out when they was about to get appointed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they definitely got the drop on where everybody at. So I think they're gonna take out the entire what do you call it? The whole lineage. The whole lineage.
Said the whole lineage.
Yeah, and everybody. Even the butler, the dog, the pet rabbit, everybody gone.
But remember, nothing happens without a reaction. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a consequence. Nobody does nothing just get away with it. You know what I mean? So we have to be level-headed over here and think, all right, they're here. You know what I'm saying? And
They're
it's only
hiding
a matter of
amongst us.
time before they do something here.
Well, the thing is, most of the Iranians here, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm speaking for what I see, are happy that there's going to be a regime change over there. You know, I'm not sure if all of them feel that way, but from what I've been seeing of the celebrations and the parties going on since they took out what do they call him?
Ayatollah.
The Ayatollah. Since they took him out.
But all it takes is one phone call, said a bomb killed a relative, for their minds to change about all of that.
Exactly. It's crazy, man. Since 9/11, man, it was like at any time, narco terrorists.
So we're gonna go ahead and land this one here. Any closing thoughts?
Trump flexing his muscles, man.
Yeah, I agree.
He you know what I'm saying? I keep telling people, like, yeah, listen, you know, I'm not a fan of Trump, but let him do what he got to do, man. We got double Brandons. What's going on?
My stuff is acting strange. My stuff acting strange.
We got Brandon in the top. We got Brandon in the left.
Let me get that imposter out of here.
But yeah, like I said, man, let him do his thing, man. I think that I need to let it play out. You know, stop fighting it, enjoying the party, enjoy it, whatever. But I think he about to conquer the world for real. He about to shut the world down. He gonna be the next Rockefeller. He said Rockefeller who?
Yeah. Well, they is saying something that he's setting his family up to be the richest because he's trying to turn everything digital through the cryptocurrency, and that's what everybody's pretty much waiting for. So the people that's in cryptocurrencies now, their hopes are buy cryptocurrency now, and when the money change over, you become an instant millionaire. I've known people that put their life savings into this stuff and lost everything waiting on this changeover of currency. And you know, that's the backdoor talk. Yep. But yeah, that's a lot of him. Yeah, like you said.
Do we see a Trump Tower in Iran?
Not yet. You know, Iran. Iraq is Babylon, so it's pretty close to Babylon.
I'm thinking like 2028. Trump Tower opens in Iran. It's gonna be huge.
There's a lot of rabbit holes you can go down with this.
What's your final words, Brandon?
First thing I want to say is rest in peace to the 6 soldiers that have already lost their lives from the United States in this pointless thing that we done got dragged into. But my closing words is a nice little quote I saw on Facebook today that made me smile. It's 2001, where U.S. American citizens, that we can't believe the dumbest man in the world is taking us to war in the Middle East. It's 2026, where U.S. citizens, and we can't believe that the dumbest man in the world is taking us to war in the Middle East. The more things change, more things stay the same. He's dumb. He's dumb. And the people who voted him in office are even stupider. So all I can say is God bless the troops. May there be no more loss of life. Let's get the hell out of Iran.
A lot of people going to agree with you. And a lot of people disagree.
It wasn't me, though. It wasn't me.
Hey, Brandon, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I hate the game and I hate the player.
All right.
Release them Epstein files, damn it.
So, P, you want to go?
Go ahead. Huh?
No, I say you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Dre, like I sent you the text too. If you want to shout out your side stuff, if you want to, you can. You know.
In due time, I will. In due time.
All right, cool. So don't feel scared. You know, if you think
that's cool. Thank you.
I don't even know. Brandon got a side gig. Oh, so I'm gonna shout out Brandon's side gig. He does photography. Mm-hmm. He does weddings. Okay. So you guys can contact him if you're looking for his information. Hit me up at LimeWithUs, LimeWithUs@gmail.com. Right. He's in the Hartford, Connecticut area. So if you're getting married, Brandon, and also P does weddings.
No, only P.
But they both do photography. They both do photography. So we're also here to support them and promote these guys. So
Yes, sir.
people who
Salute.
getting
Hey,
married.
I got some good deals on a couple of weddings I shot. So, but it comes with different stress. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be the right one.
Yeah.
They all come with stress, man.
The last
So,
two I did was pretty easy. They rented out a house
Oh.
out in the middle of these people had shmoney, bro. They had shmoney. Plenty of
More power to you.
Yeah, they gave me like a $500 tip.
I think everybody need a side hustle right now.
Yeah, I got like
Agreed.
$500 tip. Yo, here's the thing, man. Being West Indian, right? Everybody got at least 3, maybe 4 things that they do. Like,
Of course.
it don't even matter how much you making. You just find
doing
ways
it.
to stay active, find ways to keep making different types of money. Because you never know. At some point, one of them might fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got 2 others already ready to go.
My thing, what keep me going is just I have a passion to help people out. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can feel like you're getting people take advantage of that. Excuse me, but for the most part, if you know your heart and you help somebody out, that's what makes me feel good. It's not even about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, I can walk into somebody's house and I'll charge them significantly less just looking at how they living. You know what I mean? On what I'm doing.
Respect.
So
Respect.
I mean, but that's just what it is.
So you got sympathy in your heart.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people will say, like, you know what Donald Trump would say to you? You're a loser.
Yeah. But you know what the people would say? Let's keep that guy in.
No, Rockefeller would say the same thing. You're a loser.
That's fine. But what the people at the bottom, when they start rioting, they're gonna leave me alone.
No, it's systemic racism.
Yeah.
We ain't worried about no Oompa Loompas and no dead white men, okay?
I'm good at the bottom. We're gonna be good out here.
So, all right, with that, I'm gonna land it right there. We're out.